Thank you so much, Brigadier General Borras, for those inspirational remarks. We are delighted to have been able to present you with our President's Award and to have learned more about your career and to learn more about the plans that you have for your life. You will be an inspiration, and you are an inspiration to many young Latinas and Latinos and all of us in reality, to really apply ourselves to our work, to really apply ourselves to make a better future for ourselves and for our community. Muchas, muchas gracias. And now we come to the highlight of the National Latina Symposium, the Distinguished Military Service Awards. Since 2004, when we launched the program, we have been able to recognize 167 Latinas and 4 men with this prestigious award. So we're delighted to recognize the class of 2020, another 13 Latinas that will be joining this distinguished group. So to bring us into the program and to take us to the end, let's welcome back Senior Master Sergeant Sonora Vasquez, our Mistress of Ceremonies.
Please join me in viewing the presentation of the colors and national anthem presented by the Joint Armed Forces Color Guard, United States Army, Military District of Washington.
Aye. 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 Aye.
Hold! Colors, ready, set, on! Colors, right shoulder, on! Colors, colors turn, on!
Aye. 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 Aye.
At this time, we dedicate a special tribute to honor our Hispanic American comrades who are missing in action, prisoners of war, and those who gave their lives serving our great nation. Ladies and gentlemen, the moment we have all been waiting for, the 2020 National Latina Symposium Virtual Distinguished Military Service Awards. These awards are presented to military members who support the Department of Defense mission to protect the security of our country and who demonstrate the core values of their respective military service or agency. Additionally, the award recipients have distinguished themselves as role models in their communities and advocate for the advancement of Hispanic Americans.
Major Kelly Ann Guerra distinguished herself through exemplary service as the Senior Physician Assistant for Headquarters, 1st Army, United States Army. Major Guerra's professionalism, clinical expertise, and leadership epitomize the vital role of Latinas in the armed forces. She positively impacted deployment readiness of Reserve and National Guard soldiers in support of the Worldwide Global Force Management Allocation Plan, even amidst the COVID-19 pandemic. A tireless advocate for diversity and inclusion, she mentored 150 high school Latinas to seek leadership positions and promoted cultural competence among 300 medical providers. Major Guerra embodies Army values and represents Latinas in the armed forces with the utmost dignity and pride. The distinctive accomplishments of Major Guerra reflect great credit upon herself and the United States Army and make her most deserving of the National Latina Style Distinguished Military Service Award. Major Kelly Ann Guerra distinguished herself through exemplary service as the Senior Physician Assistant for Headquarters, 1st Army, United States Army. Major Guerra's professionalism, clinical expertise, and leadership epitomize the vital role of Latinas in the armed forces. She positively impacted deployment readiness of Reserve and National Guard soldiers in support of the Worldwide Global Force Management Allocation Plan, even amidst the COVID-19 pandemic. A tireless advocate for diversity and inclusion, she mentored 150 high school Latinas to seek leadership positions and promoted cultural competence among 300 medical providers. Major Guerra embodies Army values and represents Latinas in the armed forces with the utmost dignity and pride. The distinctive accomplishments of Major Guerra reflect great credit upon herself and the United States Army and make her most deserving of the National Latina Style Distinguished Military Service Award. Major Mabel Annunciata distinguished herself through meritorious service while serving as Vandegrift Team Player, Deputy Commandant for Information, Headquarters, United States Marine Corps. During this period, Major Annunciata developed and demonstrated an exquisite understanding of adversary capabilities in order to influence and align service efforts with the National Defense Strategy and the Commandant's planning guidance. On her own initiative, she seized the opportunity to form an operational planning team to examine decisions and develop solutions in the information environment for the Assistant Commandant of the Marine Corps. By her leadership, initiative, and selfless devotion to duty, Major Annunciata reflected great credit upon herself and were in keeping with the highest traditions of the Marine Corps and the United States Naval Service, and make her most deserving of the National Latina Style Distinguished Military Service Award. Gunnery Sergeant Alice Ramos distinguished herself through professional achievement as Administrative Chief Inspector General's Officer, 4th Marine Regiment, United States Marine Corps. Gunnery Sergeant Ramos demonstrated exceptional commitment to service, military professionalism, and personal initiative through her support of the Latino community. During this period, Gunnery Sergeant Ramos volunteered for Greater New Orleans Caring Collective, which was founded during the COVID-19 crisis to address food justice across the New Orleans metro area. She delivered food and supplies to schools as well as food aid to high-risk seniors and families. She also supported the organization's hotline, receiving and tracking critical food and supply requests for the local Spanish-speaking communities. Gunnery Sergeant Ramos' professional ability, personal initiative, and total dedication to duty reflect great credit upon herself and were in keeping with the highest traditions of the Marine Corps and the United States Naval Service, and make her most deserving of the National Latina Style Distinguished Military Service Award. Lieutenant Commander Joanna Gonzalez distinguished herself through exemplary service as the Force Judge Advocate for the Commander, United States Naval Forces Korea and Navy Region Korea. She supported 13 Navy commands in the areas of military justice, ethics, foreign criminal jurisdiction, and claims. Her efforts to spearhead international agreements and update maritime guidance were instrumental in advancing the Operational Mission and Republic of Korea Navy and United States Navy alliance. Notably, Lieutenant Commander Gonzalez provided sage advice to the most senior Navy commander on the Korean Peninsula during the Korean government and United States Forces Korea's response to COVID-19. Lieutenant Commander Gonzalez's efforts personify her selfless dedication to duty, commitment to excellence, and devotion to others. The distinctive accomplishments of Lieutenant Commander Gonzalez reflect great credit upon herself and the United States Navy and make her most deserving of the National Latina-Style Distinguished Military Service Award. Machinery Repairman First Class Petty Officer Frances Hinojosa distinguished herself as leading petty officer on board the United States ship Higgins, United States Navy. Petty Officer Hinojosa led 3 different work centers, overseeing 6 sailors in the operations and maintenance of all damage control and life-saving equipment on board the ship. Additionally, her steadfast leadership led to the completion of 10,000 maintenance items, enhancing the ship's damage control and warfighting readiness. Furthermore, Petty Officer Hinojosa served as the Vice President of the First Class Petty Officer Association, and she also dedicated over 400 hours to her local Girl Scout troop, mentoring and guiding young girls to develop their potential as effective and confident leaders. The distinctive accomplishments of Petty Officer Hinojosa reflect great credit upon herself and the United States Navy, and make her most deserving of the National Latina-Style Distinguished Military Service Award. First Lieutenant Christine de Jesus distinguished herself by meritorious service as Contracts Manager, Operation Support Flight, Robins Air Force Base, Georgia. Lieutenant de Jesus' professional skill and dedication led to the execution of a $24 million portfolio delivering mission-critical services, commodities, and maintenance requirements in support of 24,000 personnel at Robins Air Force Base. As a sharp business leader, she negotiated an $11 million nursing requirement for 18 full-time employees to bridge the staffing shortfalls and provide patient care to 47,000 recipients. Finally, as a result of her leadership, she was recognized as the 2019 Robins Air Force Base Company Grade Officer Annual Home and Staff Award winner. The distinctive accomplishments of Lieutenant de Jesus reflect great credit upon herself and the United States Air Force, and make her most deserving of the National Latina-Style Distinguished Military Service Award. Master Sergeant Christiane Johnson distinguished herself through exemplary service as Superintendent of Executive Services, Officer of Legislative Liaison, Secretary of the Air Force, the Pentagon, Washington District of Columbia. During this period, Sergeant Johnson provided outstanding executive support to the Director of Legislative Liaison, leading to her selection as the only Air Force enlisted Latina and female action officer in direct support of the Speaker of the House and responsible for managing logistical requirements for the Air Force-supported congressional travel around the world. Additionally, Sergeant Johnson coordinated 5 congressional trips to the European, African, and Pacific Command areas of responsibility, encompassing 52 engagements with country leaders, fostering international relationships and economic growth. Furthermore, during a visit to the Northern Triangle, she performed as a Spanish interpreter for the Speaker of the House, 33 members of Congress, and over 200 immigrants at the United States Border Patrol Processing Center, bolstering first-hand communication between citizens and policy leaders. Her dedication and service led to her selection as the 2019 Legislative Liaison Senior Non-Commissioned Officer of the Year. The distinctive accomplishments of Master Sergeant Johnson reflect great credit upon herself and the United States Air Force and make her most deserving of the National Latina-Style Distinguished Military Service Award. Mrs. Stephanie Nicole Garcia Ray distinguished herself in the performance of outstanding service as Unit Program Coordinator, 351st Air Refueling Squadron, Mildenhall, England. As a Squadron Unit Program Coordinator, Mrs. Ray revamped the squadron's in-processing checklist and facilitated the largest quarterly personnel turnover in 2 years, which was key to the 95% squadron deployment readiness rate. She headed the squadron holiday party, overseeing $8,000 and 17 fundraisers, offsetting party costs for 90 members. Furthermore, as a key spouse, she organized 3 fundraisers, 6 morale events, and 2 off-site events, boosting fellowship for 58 new spouses. Mrs. Ray's efforts reflect great credit upon herself and the United States Air Force and make her most deserving of the National Latina Style Distinguished Military Service Award. Lieutenant Gabriela Deza distinguished herself through exemplary service while serving at Coast Guard Air Station Boriken. As an MH-65D helicopter pilot, she attained advanced day and night shipboard landing and hoisting qualifications, flew 256 hours, and executed 13 search and rescue cases, saving 3 lives from the perils of the sea. In addition to her assigned duties, she volunteered as the chair of the Leadership and Diversity Advisory Council, where she cultivated an inclusive command climate through innovative educational initiatives. Additionally, she partnered with Sector San Juan to coordinate a women's leadership council to promote retention through career planning and focused mentorship. Furthermore, she represented the Coast Guard at the Women in Aviation Conference and discussed solutions to improve minority and women retention in the service. Through these distinctive accomplishments, Lieutenant Deza's professionalism, perseverance, and devotion to duty reflect great credit upon herself and the United States Coast Guard and make her most deserving of the National Latina Style Distinguished Military Service Award. Petty Officer Phyllis Almaraz distinguished herself as Independent Duty Food Service Officer on board the United States Coast Guard cutter Haddock, San Diego, California. As a highly respected leader, she used the gallery to promote multiple diversity, inclusion, and women's leadership events. During the COVID-19 pandemic, she spearheaded the unit's participation in a Pacific Area virtual workplace diversity event. The event facilitated meaningful discussions which improved workplace inclusion. Additionally, she attended the 2019 National Naval Officers Association Symposium and the 2020 DARE Symposium to address complex issues facing the naval services. As a relatively junior member, she represented herself and her heritage with the utmost integrity by presenting creative solutions for high-level problems to senior military leaders. Petty Officer Almaraz's leadership and devotion to duty reflect great credit upon herself and the United States Coast Guard and make her most deserving of the National Latina Style Distinguished Military Service Award. Cadet Second Class Nayalina Tamariz succeeds in all aspects of cadet life, from the classroom to the barracks to the field of competition and beyond. She excels academically, currently holding a 3.9 cumulative grade point average as an operations research and computer analysis major. Her dedication to honoring her Hispanic heritage led her to be the first cadet second class elected as president of the Compañeros Council affinity group in recent history. In this role, she actively encourages cross-cultural learning for both Hispanic and non-Hispanic Academy community members and engages with individuals in the local area. The accomplishments of Cadet Second Class Tamariz positively reflect the United States Coast Guard and make her most deserving of the National Latina Style Distinguished Military Service Award. Dr. Elizabeth Rivero is cited for exceptional meritorious service for her role as the United States Coast Guard Academy's Associate Professor of Spanish and Faculty Advisor for the Compañeros Diversity Council. In these roles, she worked with cadets to prepare them to be ambassadors of the different Latinx cultures, regardless of their own race or ethnicity. Additionally, she eloquently and deliberately promoted the Latin American voice in academics through her work as a board member of the New England Council of Latin American Studies. Her body of work focused on the human aspects of Latin American history, including social justice, life during and after dictatorship, and the gendering of women in Hispanic literature and visual arts. Dr. Rivero's unwavering support for all cadets to learn about the rich cultures and histories around us is something to aspire to and make her most deserving of the National Latina Style Distinguished Military Service Award. Lieutenant Colonel Lesbia Nieves distinguished herself by meritorious service as Battalion Commander, 143rd Combat Sustainment Support Battalion, Waterbury, Connecticut, United States Army National Guard. During this period, Colonel Nieves served as a board member and co-president of the Connecticut State Veterans Memorial and as a past president of the Hispanic American Veterans of Connecticut. She worked to raise funds and build a statewide memorial to honor all Connecticut veterans. Throughout her career, Colonel Nieves has held leadership positions in organizations dedicated to honoring the service and improving the quality of life of Latina veterans and their families. The distinctive accomplishments of Lieutenant Colonel Nieves reflect great credit upon herself, the United States Army, and make her most deserving of the National Latina Style Distinguished Military Service Award.
Ladies and gentlemen, again, congratulations to all of the award recipients who were honored today. Thank you for your service. As we congratulate our military and civilian award winners, we remain confident in their continued exemplary service as evidenced by the selection for these awards. We are sure our audience gained new role models today. Mr. Bark will now deliver the closing remarks.